So low-income people, by and large, illustrate very class-consistent beliefs about economic policies that they prefer, that the policies that they think are best for them and the policies that they think are best for the country are frequently left of center, moderate to liberal policies that are embraced by the Democratic Party, but they don't vote that way, or at least not all of them do. There's a large amount of defection. And what drives that defection is frequently racial resentment and religious conservatism. The southern white population is an overwhelmingly Republican population now. In some cases, shockingly so. In 2008, the exit polls estimate between 86 and 90% of whites in Mississippi, Alabama, and Louisiana voted for John McCain. That's high levels of racial polarization. Almost exactly the same. What's interesting about that is that 10 years ago, I would have told you that that wouldn't be the case, that I've believed for most of my career that racial resentment towards African Americans is much stronger than racial resentment towards Hispanics. But the politicization of the issue of immigration over the last 10 years and the level of hostility in the rhetoric has gotten so strong that it's actually produced racial sentiments about Hispanics that look an awful lot like racial sentiments about African Americans. In the 50 states, in all of the state legislatures, there are about 7,000 state legislators, about 5,000 in state lower houses, and about 2,000 in state upper houses. As recently as 2008, the total number of minority state senators from the Republican Party was 12. They had about 900 state senators nationwide, and 12 of them were not white. In the state legislatures, they had about 2,300 state legislators nationwide. 50 were non-white. All the rest were white. The Republican Party is essentially a whites-only party. As whites become a minority of the country and then eventually of the electorate, that's going to consign the GOP to the ash heap of history unless they can figure out how to broaden their coalition. In order to reach out to Hispanics, Republicans would have to engage in a racially inclusive rhetoric that really is anathema to the last 40 years of their history. If the election is close, the Latino vote will matter a great deal, particularly in Nevada, Colorado, New Mexico, and Florida. All four of those states are swing states, and the Latino vote's a sizable share of the electorate there. And in all four states, the Latino margin of victory in the last election was larger than the statewide margin of victory. So you would consider those states highly likely to be places where Latinos will determine outcomes.